what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports. Back on with the Phils again. They win the opening game against the Tampa Bay Rays in a minor league stadium. The Yankees minor league stadium, go figure. You could definitely tell that it's a Yankee stadium with those very small dimensions. They win today by a score of 8-4. Bunch of home runs hit. Zack Wheeler, very good once again. 7 strong innings, even though I think he should have went deeper into this ball game. But that's something we'll bring up later as we continue on in this recap. And, yeah, offense woke up late. Game was a little too close for my liking just because it was a 3-0 game thanks to Kyle Schwarber solo shot and Alec Bohm hitting a home run, a 2-run shot. Holy hell, I never thought I would see the day where Alec Bohm hit a home run. It's his first of the year. It gave the Phillies a 3-0 lead. Phillies left a lot of meat on the bone in the early parts of the game. Zack Wheeler has been doing what Zack Wheeler does this year, besides being good, also allowing the long ball. Allowed a 2-run shot, and it became a 3-2 ball game. So, in line with criticizing this team, it really puts a lot of pressure on your starting pitching to basically be every pitch is a stress pitch, and especially when you're just not cashing in when you do have your chances to score. But in the later stages of the game, they did tack on a lot of more runs. Nick Castellanos hits a 3-run shot. Kyle Schwarber drives in another run. You eventually put an 8th spot on the board, and your bullpen does come in, even though I do think Zack Wheeler should have finished off this game. He was around like 84 pitches when he came. He finished that 7th inning. So he could have gone at least 8. He could have gone at least 8 in my liking. Is it just because the Phillies had a very long top of the 8th inning and a lot of rest for Zack Wheeler? Maybe you didn't want to bring him back out there. Still, I digress. I think he should have gone at least 8 in this game. His pitch count puts you in that perfect spot. So, regardless, a win's a win. A win is a win. So, before we get into everything else, if you are new to the channel, I recommend you hitting that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. You can also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SEATGEEK. Great deal. Do not pass it up. You can also leave a follow at TTP Sports on TikTok and Instagram. Granted, I have not been posting shorts lately because I really just haven't had time to with the editing schedules of Russ and Brodes, but, I'm trying. I'm trying here, so just bear with me. Just really bear with me. So, yeah, it's good stuff there. So, getting into everything else. Off day yesterday. Had a lot of stress with the freaking NHL draft lottery. Flyers, still very aggravated about that, but still trying to move on from that entire thing. And we have Phillies today. It's going to be a very weird week. It definitely is, because it's just like you're playing the Tampa Bay Rays. Do people really care that much about when you're going down to Tampa and playing them? It's going to be a very weird week in terms of watching the Phils. In hindsight, they really should win this series. They win today, obviously, so they're good enough to beat the Rays, and they should be good enough to beat the Rays because the Rays are not that good of a team. Still, they showed offensive struggles in the early stages of the game. Bryce Harper had a couple of ugly bats, even though Bryce Harper had 2 hits in this game in the late stages. A couple of ugly bats when you had a chance to add on to the lead, and, even though his at-bat didn't really, I would say, affect anything, because Kyle Schwarber eventually hit a home run in that same inning, and then Alec Bohm, JT Realmuto, the king of grounding into double plays, Jesus fucking Christ. It's crazy, but overall, I guess for today's game, it gets a little nitpicky, but it's going to be the same complaints that you're going to have every single game. They don't hit. They leave a lot of meat on the bone offensively when they do get a lot of chances, because they do get a lot of chances with base runners. They don't knock every single runner in, because if you look at just their runners in scoring position opportunity, yeah, they went 4 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Nick Castellanos, he had the big 3-run shot. He added on an 8th run in the top of the 9th inning as well with an RBI single. So Nick Castellanos was very good with runners on today. Kyle Schwarber was very good in this game. Bohm got the home run in his lone chance with runners on. Phillies had 13 hits in total. The middle of the lineup really did a lot of the damage, specifically with Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos. Those guys went 3 for 4 and 3 for 5. So they went 6 for 9 respectively. Kyle Schwarber with 2 RBIs. Nick Castellanos had 4 RBIs in today's game. So those guys really did a bulk of the damage. At some of the other parts of the lineup, Bryson Stott, he's had a few ugly games in a row now in the leadoff spot. So not sure if they're going to do anything there. but they probably won't just because they've been winning a lot more recently. Trey Turner, he gets a couple of more singles in today's game. He goes 2 for 5. Bryce Harper, another 2-hit game for him, but, only 2 hits were singles. He went 2 for 5. Max Kepler, he went 0 for 3 with a walk. JT went 0 for 3 with a walk, but he also grounded into like 2 double plays. Jesus Christ. Alec Bohm, good day for him. 2-run shot, had a single as well in this game. He had 2 RBIs. So finally he got the schneid of the home run off the books. So hopefully something, maybe, I don't know. We'll just see. We'll see if we could just grab anything off of that. And Brendan Marsh, he went 1 for 3 with a walk and 2 strikeouts. Pitching-wise today, Zack Wheeler, 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 0 walks, and 9 strikeouts. Basically, besides those 2 batters, when he eventually allowed the 2-run shot, because I believe he allowed a double to Lau, and then Diaz hit the 2-run shot. Besides that, Zack Wheeler was just getting quick outs, quick innings, quick strikeouts. Very efficient stuff from Zack Wheeler tonight. He was very sharp and very locked in, just besides those 2 batters where he made the mistakes. I think Raymond also brings up this one point. It was also a 92-degree day out, so maybe they didn't want Wheeler going much further. It does make sense in the process. I just also try to bring up here because when you look at this team's bullpen and the way that they've had to use the bullpen, especially lately, a lot, and when you're trying to not use Jose Alvarado as much, when you're trying, even though they did eventually use Matt Strahm tonight, and this was also going to when the game was still a little bit close. They did eventually tackle on those runs before they went to the bullpen in the top of the 8th inning. It's just for the fact that, don't you want to save some bullpen arms? Don't you just want to give the bullpen a day off? Maybe you can afford Zack Wheeler going 8 innings. Maybe you can afford him at least trying to go complete game or something like that, as the Carolina Hurricanes win in overtime against the Washington Capitals. That game was boring as shit, but they just won very early into the overtime, so at least that game ended. But going on off the fact here, losing my train of thought because I got distracted by the overtime goal. Yeah, I think it's getting nitpicky because they did win the game eventually. I kind of just wanted to see Zack Wheeler go a little bit further into the game, especially with his pitch count, but it's no harm, no done. And it also just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, especially when Kerkering comes into the game, and then he allows 2 base runners to get on. He eventually allows a run to score. It wasn't a pretty inning by Kerkering. Even Strahm's inning wasn't pretty either. He allowed a couple of base runners. He allowed a run to score. So bullpen-wise tonight, especially with a big lead, not the prettiest, but I guess that's just been the bullpen experience this year. It just feels like every time Kerkering comes in, it's high leverage, low leverage. It's just ugly. It's ugly. I know Kerkering has good stuff in theory. He throws a hard fastball, and he throws a sweeper. He needs another pitch. He needs more pitches. Does he throw a sinker? Does he throw a 2-seam? I don't know what else. He needs some type of other off-speed pitch. He needs another off-speed. And he also has to realize that his fastball is his best pitch and not his sweeper, because sometimes he leaves the sweeper hanging, and people wait for that. He's got to realize his hard fastball, 97 to 100, is very good. He's got to realize that a lot more. But still, Kerkering, high leverage, low leverage, the game doesn't matter at that point. He just looks shaky. So it's just like a guy that you can't trust right now fully. And Matt Strahm, he'll have his better outings. He, got through a lot of pitches in this one, a lot of hit, a lot of walk, a lot of run. But overall, I think some of those, with Strahm nitpicky, just overall, the game was a weird feel through most of it until the Phillies scored a bunch of their runs. So if you basically just look at the entirety of today's game, so you go top 2nd inning, Kyle Schwarber with the leadoff home run the other way. He puts the Phillies up 1-0. Nick Castellanos then doubles. Kepler then walks, so you got 2 base runners on. For JT Realmuto, he grounded to a double play, which like he always seems to do. So 2 outs there. Alec Bohm comes up to the plate, gets into a 3-1 count. Maybe the umpire robbed them of a walk, and that was probably the best thing possible because he sends a ball the other way, and it goes over the wall for a 2-run shot. So good for Alec Bohm. It's long overdue for a home run. Thankfully, he got it. I guess you can also thank the short porch. Thanks, Yankees. Thanks, Yankees, for allowing Tampa Bay to play in your minor league ballpark, which has basically the same dimensions as Yankee Stadium. Top 3, another situation where you probably leave a lot of meat on the bones. Trey Turner with a single. He eventually steals second base. Bryce Harper strikes out on a full count on a pitch right down the middle of the plate. very ugly looking right there from Harper. Schwarber then walks, and then eventually both Schwarber and Trey Turner steal second and third base, and then Nick Castellanos put Goodwood on the ball, just hit it right to the center fielder, so that was a missed opportunity right there. Top of the fourth, Kepler led off the inning by getting hit by a pitch, and JT Realmuto grounded into another double play. So, yeah, wasted opportunity right there. And then bottom of the fourth inning, Lau for the Rays, he hit the double to lead off the inning, and then Diaz hits the opposite field shot to make it a 3-2 game, to make it a little bit more uncomfortable. Top five for the Phillies. Marsh with a leadoff single. Trey Turner, fielder's choice. Nothing happens. Another double play. A little bit of weirdness going on there. Crazy. Bottom five, Wheeler 1, 2, 3. Top six, Phillies 1, 2, 3. Bottom six, Wheeler 1, 2, 3 again. Top seven, JT leadoff walk. Marsh walk. And then actually Marsh got caught JT led off with a walk. Then he got caught stealing. And then Marsh walked. And then, nothing really happened that inning, basically. Bottom seven, Wheeler out there. He gets a double play. Very quick inning for them. Top eight, this is when the Phillies basically blast open the scoring. Trey Turner with a single. Bryce Harper with a single. And then Kyle Schwarber with a bloop single, basically, that Travis Jankowski, former Philly, in right field, almost made the diving catch. Ball bounced out of his glove as soon as he hit the ground. That manages to score Trey Turner, who read the ball perfectly, or, he's just fast enough. Good base running decision for once by this Phillies team. Makes the Phillies a 4-2 lead. And then Nick Castellanos crushes the ball the other way. Deep fly ball. 3-run shot. Becomes a 7-2 Phillies lead. So nice stuff there. Kerkering then allows his run in the bottom of the eighth. Top of the ninth for the Phillies. After the Phillies get a couple of base runners on, Nick Castellanos drives home Bryce Harper. Makes it 8-3. Matt Strahm allows his run in the bottom of the ninth. He eventually gets the job done, and the Phillies win 8-4. So, overall, it's a good win by the Phillies. They keep getting wins right now. They are now officially 20-15 on the season. And you just got to beat a bad Rays team. That's what they are. They're 16-19. They're 9-14 at home. They played the majority of their games at home already. Jesus Christ. But yeah, you just take care of a bad Rays team. That's what you got to do. And try to win another series tomorrow. I believe Christopher Sanchez is on the mound, if I'm not mistaken. And if we do look at tomorrow's game, yep, so it will be Christopher Sanchez. He's going up against Shane Baz. Shane Baz is 3-1 with a 3.86 ERA. He's got a 1.17 whip. 37 strikeouts, 12 walks, 4 home runs allowed. He's got a very similar stat line to Christopher Sanchez, so we'll see. We'll see. Shane Baz, very young, hard-throwing right-hander. Was one of the top prospects in the Rays organization for a little bit. I believe they got him in the trade for like Chris Archer or something like that with the Pittsburgh Pirates a couple of years ago. So, yeah, we'll see where this goes. It's very weird. Like I said, today was just weird with this game. I don't know if it's the fact that the Rays play in a minor league ballpark. The game just felt weird. It just did. It's probably that, because you're playing in a minor league ballpark, and it's not the Rays' fault, because the hurricane not that long ago took off the roof of Tropicana Field, and they had nowhere to play besides, asking one of the other teams in baseball to play in one of their minor league ballparks. And I guess thankfully the Yankees had that affiliate in Tampa Bay, which is probably better for a lot of people that are Rays fans, because they're actually playing in the city of Tampa Bay instead of playing in St. Petersburg, where they have to drive a little bit and deal with a lot of traffic to even get there. I believe they have to cross like so many bridges. It's weird. It's weird. The whole ramifications of this game, it's just weird. Weird. It's probably just because you're playing in a minor league stadium. I don't know why I'm judging it so much. I don't know why I'm harping it so much. It just felt weird. It really did. I don't know. Oh, man. Phillies, man. They definitely do things to you. They do. But overall, gotta win. Gotta win, and that's the most important thing. So you got 2 more games left in this series. Like I said, it's Christopher Sanchez versus Baz tomorrow. Then on Thursday, it's going to be Jesus Luzardo against Ryan Pepiot. He's 2-4 with a 4.23 ERA. And then after this series, you go to Cleveland for this weekend with Aaron Nola, Ranger Suarez, and Zack Wheeler. Another Sunday night baseball game this Sunday. So I guess ESPN decides to stalk the Phillies the past 2 weeks. So yeah. And then after this road trip, you come back home for a 6-game homestand against St. Louis and Pittsburgh. And then you go on the road again with Colorado and the Athletics. Then you're back home to end May with the Atlanta Braves and the Milwaukee Brewers, and then you go into your June schedule, so on and so forth. What are you ever going to do? What are you going to do? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. What else is there out there? There really hasn't been much. Like, the majority of today has been a lot of us reacting to the draft lottery with the NHL last night. There's really not much else because, yeah, that's basically it. A lot of Flyers fans, a lot of us are very frustrated with the draft lottery, just with, the Flyers not getting lucky. Of course, with the New York Islanders jumping 9 spots to win the lottery, the Utah Hockey Club jumping 10 spots to where they technically win the second overall pick, but you can't jump more than 10 spots, so you have to get the next highest pick that you're allowed, which is 4. Ugh. Jesus. It's crazy stuff. Ugh. But yeah, it is the Flyers' job to draft the best player available, even though I'm kind of scared that they're going to reach for a player just because I have that fear in the back of my mind. But that's another discussion for another day. We're probably a little over a month until the NHL draft. Got a little bit of a while to go there. Ah, man. I want to see if there's anything from Rob Thompson postgame. I doubt they even got there yet because I basically streamed right after final pitch. But, yeah, I do want to see if there's anything here. I don't think there is, in my personal opinion. I don't think there is. I do not think there is. A lot of my timeline right now, it's just hockey because there's playoffs on right now. We got, like I said, with the Carolina Hurricanes beating up on, well, not beating up, well, beating Washington in overtime. You got Vegas and Edmonton right now. Vegas is up 2-0 in the first period. So hopefully it's a little more exciting than the Washington-Carolina game because that game was very boring. So hopefully this is not like a blowout or anything like that. That would be very underwhelming. Especially with the way that Toronto and Florida went up yesterday, with Toronto going up to a big lead, Florida almost making a comeback, and then Toronto ended up winning that game 5-4, I believe. It's crazy stuff. It really is. We do have a voicemail here on the Anytime Hotline. We'll get to that in a little bit. We also got some of you guys here in the chat. Ray says Phillies play 3 or 4 spring training games a year at Steinbrenner Field, so they have very much familiarity with it. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be shocked if that's the case. I would assume the Yankees also have a ton of familiarity with it too, since that's their spring training field. So that's a very funny thing there. Tyler, I'm surprised they haven't built or found a new stadium yet. Do you think they would consider their fans could benefit? They were supposed to have a stadium being built in St. Petersburg, but then those plans fell through. So I don't know what's happening with Tampa Bay. I know the release with the Trop last, was it like a couple of more years? But I don't know how long it's going to take for them to rebuild that roof with the hurricane damage. Yeah, even Franco mentions it right here. They were supposed to build a new stadium. It fell through. I don't know what's going to happen with the Rays. I really don't. My personal opinion is they're probably the next team that relocates. I just think that's going to be the case. I think they're the next team that relocates in Major League Baseball. You got the Athletics. They pulled that trigger and all that crap. So they're going to Vegas eventually when that stadium gets built over there down on the Strip. And they're playing where they're playing in Sacramento right now or something like that. And especially with a lot of the talks about Nashville and possibilities for expansion in Major League Baseball. Could the Rays be that team that moves? Could they be the next one that moves? I don't know. Their owner is very cheap. And most likely, if Tampa Bay were to move, he'd be the guy that spends money just to bring some more attraction to a new city. That's what these owners do. That's what they do. When they leave a city that they want to leave, they go to a new one, they spend their money. That's what the Athletics owner did with Sacramento. It's crazy. Brodes seem to have a little reluctant going after Isaac Howard, but not Dubas, and the stinking Penguins are interested, and I'll be pissed if they end up with him. Was Brodes actually... What, were you talking with Brodes on WIP earlier? Or during the morning show? Or the very early show? Or late night show? Whatever. 2 to 6 in the morning. Feel bad for him. That's why you won't be seeing a Brodes recap tonight. I don't know if he's on the entire week on WIP filling in for John Johnson in the very early mornings from 2 to 6. But yeah, his sleep schedule definitely isn't going to permit him doing Phillies recaps probably this week. Whatever it means. So, were you talking to Brodes on the radio show? Why did he seem hesitant about it? Why would he be hesitant? Did he give an explanation on that? I know Brodes did his Flyers vid earlier today because I edited it obviously and posted all the shorts. He's very much in the mindset that he's annoyed by the draft lottery, but he's in the motion that you could still get a good player anywhere in the first round. He has that type of mindset. He's in all this week and next week. Oh God. Oh God, he's on the 2 to 6 a.m. shift for the next 2 weeks. Oh geez, that's gonna suck. I feel bad for his sleep schedule. Strictly because of Cutter Gauthier vibes. That's why. I mean, I get it. I do. I think the reason is the main reason for him not wanting to sign with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Is it just because of the fact that they probably won't have enough roster space for him to play good minutes? I'm sure that's just what he wants. He gets traded to Philadelphia, he'll probably get good minutes. I would assume he would get at least middle 6 minutes. He would probably get at least middle 6 time. I would like for the Flyers to trade for Isaac Howard. You're just adding another young player into your system. Another young player, one of Hobie Baker, really good in college. A guy that probably should be in the NHL next season, but most likely will be playing college unless he's traded. I would trade for him in a full right. Not enough ice time. If he comes to the Flyers, he'll get ice time. 100%. 100% he'll get ice time. I don't know if I'm the Flyers, I would definitely take. I would definitely be willing to give up one of the draft picks that we have, maybe a couple of seconds for the rights for Isaac Howard. I'd do that, especially if a team like Pittsburgh wants to go after him. Yeah, I'd do that in a heartbeat. You have way more draft capital than the Pittsburgh Penguins. You should be able to do that. You got 7 picks in the first 2 rounds. I don't know why this turned into a Flyers portion, but like I said, there's really nothing else to talk about with this Phillies game. It was a solid game. There's not much else. We can just talk the shit here, because you won't have a Brodes video tonight because he's on the radio later, so I won't be able to worry about working that stuff. But it's crazy stuff. Actually, let's do the voicemail. Let's do the voicemail from Steven. Let's get that. Let's get his thoughts in here. Do that.
Hey, Amadeo. So overall, a pretty good win today. Another great start from Zack Wheeler. You had Kyle Schwarber's 12th home run of the season. You had a 3-run bomb from Nick. You had Bohm's first bomb of the year. Bullpen was a little bit uncomfortable. I mean, that was a little bit of a drag to get through. Those guys didn't particularly look that great today, but overall, a nice win to set you up to take the series tomorrow. Maybe even take a sweep on Thursday. So, really fun watch tonight overall from them.
Yeah, for the most part. I won't go too far on the sweep right now just because they haven't been able to sweep the past couple of series. But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Focus on it one game at a time. Win a series tomorrow, set you up for a sweep on Thursday. So we'll see where that goes. And yeah, like the one thing I do want to bring up with Kyle Schwarber, though, this dude just keeps hitting home runs. How is he not extended yet? And there is a good point that a lot of people bring up on Twitter with Kyle Schwarber, because like a lot of Phillies fans, like with some other Phillies pending free agents, especially with JT Realmuto, it all comes to age and all that stuff like that. I think the one thing that benefits with Kyle Schwarber, and like you could push away from the age factor, is just that Kyle Schwarber is solely a DH, and you really don't have to worry about him constantly putting his body on the line in left field, him having to play the outfield constantly. He might do it a couple of times during the season, but he's not going to play there all 162. He's mainly going to be your DH, and I think that's perfectly fine to extend a guy that seemingly is getting better every single season in the batter's box. It feels like Kyle Schwarber, ever since he has signed a contract with the Phillies, he's been getting better every year. The power numbers have been getting better every year. The pure hitting has been getting better every year. The walks have been getting better every year. So I definitely I put pen to paper right now with Kyle Schwarber, personally. So what else? Oh yeah, Frank. That like completely slipped my mind. I was not expecting to see that today, with the name changing for the Wells Fargo Center, now going to be called the Xfinity Mobile Arena. That is going to be weird, as Edmonton makes it a 2-1 game. So hopefully that game will be more interesting. But Xfinity Mobile Arena, I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe it'll throw away the curse of the name that is the Wells Fargo Center, because it feels like ever since the arena was named Wells Fargo Center, it feels like both the Phillies, the Flyers, and the Sixers have been cursed. Maybe a new name is just reaps different things. Maybe it does. Maybe it does. Now, I could care less about the name change. It's interesting, but I wonder what the nickname for it will be, though. What will people call it? And it's a nice feed from McDavid, actually, and a nice tuck in from Corey Perry. Nice stuff there. Corey Perry, pending free agent after this season. Flyers, if he doesn't extend in Edmonton, which there definitely is a great chance that could happen, but there's also a great chance that he could hit the market. We'll see. We'll see. But, wonder what they'll call it. Did they call it the XM Arena? Did they just call it the X? I don't know what else to call it. The X. The X. A lot of people have been calling it the X on Twitter. That's actually pretty funny, though. I don't know. Like I said, I think overall, I really don't care about what the arena name is. My God. My God. It's crazy stuff. Like I said, I was not expecting an arena change or a name change. And I think, well, yeah, because the Wells Fargo name lease expired after this past season with the Flyers and the Sixers. So a name change was bound to happen. It's weird that it's Xfinity Mobile. Why Xfinity Mobile? Why can't just name it Honestly, honest to God, I thought it was just going to be named IBX with Independence Blue Cross, because that feels like that advertisement has been put up everywhere, with the Phillies having it on the field as their patch for their jerseys. The Flyers have it as their patch for their jerseys. I was shocked that it just wasn't going to be called the IBX Arena or the IBX Center, Xfinity Mobile Center or Arena, whatever the fuck it is. Was not expecting that. I don't think anybody could have pinned on that to happen. Feels like a lot of people jokingly wanted the Wawa Arena or something, Wawa Center or something like that, something that was Philadelphia based. Technically, Xfinity is kind of Philadelphia based because Comcast is a Philadelphia company, I guess. It's weird. Like I said, it's weird. Weird day. Weird day. Weird. Oh my goodness. Anything else on the Twitterverse? Anything else? Talk about anything here before we end it off. I don't think there is. Is there any? Let's see if there's any good scores around Major League Baseball today. Mets and the Diamondbacks. I believe the Mets won yesterday against Arizona, and they're winning right now 1-0. The Marlins, they beat the Dodgers in extra innings. That's interesting. Cleveland, they lost to Washington by a score of 10-9. Anything else? The Braves won again 2-1 in extra innings against Cincinnati. Anything else? There's also been in terms of Phillies stuff again, there's been a lot of trade talk. I forget which MLB insider brought it up, but it was trade targets and all that stuff, and a lot of people brought up Ryan Helsley. Philadelphia Phillies obviously needing a lot of bullpen help, and Ryan Helsley makes a lot of sense. I forget which MLB insider brought it up, but it was specifically McAble trade to the Cardinals for Ryan Helsley, and we'll see. McAble's numbers this year, he's definitely bounced back this year. He definitely looks a lot better. I know Dave Dombrowski brought up, I believe it was on the Phillies pregame earlier today on WIP, that he said that if they do need starting rotation help, he wouldn't hesitate calling up McAble. So, wonder if that's a sign of things, to where if he does get a shot in the rotation this year, is that just maybe a audition for trade stuff and all that stuff? I have no idea. So, just a little bit of things to think about, though. You know what I mean? But I think that will do it for today, everybody. Pretty chill stuff. Phillies, for the most part, it was a comfortable win. When the offense eventually exploded, Zack Wheeler was really good. It's weird, though, that he's allowing a lot of home runs this year. He's actually allowed a lot more home runs than... Well, not a lot more, but he's allowed more home runs than Aaron Nola. I think Wheeler's allowed 8. Nola's allowed 6, so that's very weird. But still, overall process of Zack Wheeler's been good. Just hasn't been I would say fully dominant. It's the home run's the only weird part with Wheeler this year. But yeah, you got to win. And we'll see where they go tomorrow with Christopher Sanchez on the bump. So yeah, that'll do it for today, everybody. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always and joining in and chatting it up. So yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with a recap, pending any other breaking news out of the Philadelphia sports realm. So you'll see something pop up in your subscription feed. Most likely just be a recap tomorrow after tomorrow night's game. So we'll be back here tomorrow. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Does me a great deal of service. And also use the code TTPSports, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Do not